still a lot of programs are catching up, but the vibe of Campus Experts is totally different. So how did you came up with this particular plan? How did you come up with the whole idea?
It kind of happened accidentally. So it came to Siddharth's question. It came exactly from that. So when I joined GitHub, Campus Experts had already been announced. At HackCon 2016, John had announced Campus Experts and opened a sign up. Nothing had been done at that point. There was no program. I was hired to make the program. Yeah. So the website went up, the sign up went up, John announced it, and then I was hired. So I was hired after the announcement, and I was told, like, we announced this program, things will start in October. So I was like, okay, we've got 3,000 people who have applied. What is it? And so I started from there. And so basically I went through all of the applicants and I was like, hey, why are these people applying for this program? Like, this is what John told them it was. Why do they care? And like looking through it and, you know, like seeing what else was happening. My computer just died. Seeing what else was happening in like our sponsorship inbox, I basically kind of decided that what I was seeing was a lot of people who had student clubs or had, you know, were trying to give workshops, or they had learned Git and they wanted to teach other people. I was seeing a lot of people who were saying like, hey, I have a club. Can you help me help them? And so that is basically what like we settled on, and we were like, hey, this is a program where like GitHub is all about open source communities. This is a program where we are going to help the people who build those communities, and we're going to start with students. So that's where it came from. It literally was like audience backwards. We had the audience and we looked at that audience and we said like, hey, what is it these people need? And this is something that John later actually spoke about in a talk at DevRel Tokyo. So John made a framework. This was many years ago now. I don't know how much he still believes in this. But John made a framework for developer marketing that he called Scoop. And the idea behind Scoop, so Scoop is 5 letters and it's support, content, operations, outreach, programs. And honestly, like, you can ignore all 4 of them except for the first one. The whole idea behind Scoop is you start with support, which is like you see what your audience, what your users are saying to you, and that like what they're telling you they need, and you just build that thing, right? It's basically the whole thing. And so that's what we did with Campus Experts. And so this whole like community vibe came from there, where it's like they needed things to help with their community, and then it came with us not wanting to fall into the pitfalls of many other student programs, which was like a lot of student programs, and anyone who follows me on Twitter will have seen this, a lot of student programs turn into unpaid sales jobs, right? And so I didn't want to build that. That wasn't something I was interested in building. And so that was our original spec. We had those 2 things, which was like, don't exploit the students. They're doing, you know, they are doing things they probably wouldn't do if they had more money, but they're students, so they're willing to do things. They're willing to do things that would otherwise they would charge for. So like, don't take advantage of that and help them build their communities. And that's where it all came from.
Nice. That's actually a really good thought.